Hey guys, welcome to 17 weeks. February 17th, 16:01, I relaxed at home and I ran errands. February 18th, 16:02, relaxed at home with Blake. Nothing to report. February 19th, 16:03, relaxed at home. I did a photo shoot for Blake's reveal on his Instagram page. I do feel the baby moving a lot today. I'm having left hearing loss. I'm having hearing loss in my left ear. It feels like my ear's in the water. It's like literally like before. I remember I had this symptom when I first got pregnant. It was like one of my my earliest symptoms. I felt like it was like one of the first few symptoms. It felt like there was like I had an ear infection. Like if you've ever had swimmer's ear, it sounds like crackling noises in your ear, and it's like warm and hot and itchy and whatever. So I didn't have the itchiness or like the hotness. It was just the cracking. Like when I went like this, I could hear like, well, that didn't come back, but now it just feels like if you were to like wash your hair and then put your ear into the water, and then there's like water in your ear and you gotta like turn it the other way to get it out. It feels like that when there's water in my ear, only I can't get the water out. And it's because of that sensation, I can hear my heart beating. It's so annoying. For example, like you ever think of like, you know, they say like when you have a fish tank, and if you like knock on it, they're like don't knock on a fish tank because it's louder to the fish. That's how I guess that makes it is because what I'm trying to say is because of that I hear my inside. Like I hear what's going on inside because it feels like my ear underwater. I don't know if that made sense, but that's what it feels like. It's really annoying because I could literally count my pulse just listening like this and like timing myself. It's annoying. All right, February 20th, 16:04, I saw the midwife. She was underwhelming. She's black, so I looked forward to having a black midwife, and I saw her on video for the birthing center's advertisement, but she wasn't like how she was in the video. She was kind of dismissive to Blake. I don't know. So it's hard to say because it's hard to know someone's intention. I'll get to that in a minute. She was really smart. She was very intelligent. And she wasn't like, I wouldn't say rude. Like she wasn't trying to, like I don't feel like she was just like rude, but whatever. Basically what happened was we came in, her and I made immediate eye contact. And I noticed she was looking at me really hard. You ever have someone just like look at you really hard, like into your soul, and you're just like, hello? Well, I was looking at her hard too because I recognized her from the video. And I was like looking forward to having her. So then I thought, why is she looking at me hard? Does she recognize me? Like, why is she looking at me? Then I realized maybe she's looking at me hard because I'm looking at her hard. So I'm like, maybe I should tell her why I'm looking at her so hard. So I just said, oh, I recognize you from the video on the advertisement. And she was just like, oh, they made me do that. Didn't want to do that. And even her saying that kind of made me feel like you didn't like mean what you said in the video. Because she was like, if you watch the video, she's like saying, like, she just sounds so well spoken, and she just sounds like so passionate about what she does, and like she just sounds like she loves her job, which I don't deny that she doesn't feel those things, but her saying, maybe it was a nervous response, I don't know, but her saying they made me do that kind of was just like, you didn't mean it. It kind of negated everything she said in the video that I appreciated. So I said, like, well, I really like what you had to say in the video. And she kind of just was like, I'll just pretend. And then she said, I'll pretend you didn't tell me that, so that doesn't make it this awkward. I'll pretend you didn't tell me that, so that doesn't make this awkward. And I'm just like, okay, you could have just said, oh, thank you. You liked it. I'm glad it brought you in. Like, I don't know. It was kind of just like this. I don't know. She kind of had like a negative vibe about it. And I was just like, okay. She sits down. She talks to me. And then she asks me, do I want a doula? And I've heard things about doulas. I heard that nobody ever regrets getting a doula. But my biggest reason why I don't want to get a doula is because I don't want to pay like $2,000 for a doula. Like I know that sounds crazy, but that's really what it is. And I also, when I had my mom there, my mom had me natural, and like literally, like I said before, my mom is the inspiration for why I decided to go natural. She always, like every year of my birthday, she explains to me everything, like step by step what she did. And I know everybody's a little different, but I really feel like because I trust her and because she knows me, I feel like she really will keep me focused I really feel that way. And so I kind of feel like I don't really need a doula, but I also feel like judged, like I'm gonna be judged for having my mom, because when I'm, like I said, I work in OB, so like the average person, like my family, me, and like my peoples, I'm sorry, we're not average people. I know it sounds kind of weird to say, but like we're from New York, we move fast, we think fast, we're artists, like, or creatives. Like when you are that way, you kind of have a little bit out of the box. So you're not like you're not like average. And I hate to sound like I'm like trying to put myself above others. It's not really that it is. It's just you're just outside the box. And so because of that, people have a habit of thinking their mundane thoughts about people, and they try to put you in that mundane box, and it's like, I don't fit in it. Thanks. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I feel like people are gonna like judge me for like wanting my mom there, because I'm gonna think your mom, like, well, how's she gonna help you? She's gonna just like probably annoy you, because more often than not, moms annoy their daughters, like in the OB setting, like I've seen. More often than not, I see like they bring a girl brings their mom, and their mom is getting on their nerves, or like they're like, get out, or whatever. So, or they're like, don't tell my mom, or whatever. But whatever, my mom and I are very close. And that's a judgment of mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, even me saying that is a judgment of mine, because you might think, no, I don't feel that way. Like, me and my mom are close. Like me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you just get judgments at your job, right? And I'm gonna be honest, like, your nurses and your doctors will get judgments. And we as nurses and we as doctors have to learn, we as nurses and the doctors have to learn not to let their like personal bias from their own experience like be projected onto others. So I feel like I'm really good at not, like, I know when I'm being biased, but I feel like I'm pretty good at like not projecting it onto others, especially at work. So she's like, you're gonna have a doula, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna have my mom. So she gives me this look like she was judging me, and she was like, well, has your mom ever been in a labor besides obviously yours, like having me? And I was like, yeah, like she's been on a labor before. And she's like, okay. And then she points to my husband, and she at this point had not even spoken to my husband. She finally was like, hi. And he's like, hi. And I don't like it when people don't say hello to my husband, because like I make a point to always say hello to the fob. Sorry, in OB we call, at least in my hospital, we call the father of the baby fob. So I say fob. I refer to, whether it's your husband, your baby daddy, it don't matter. We call them fobs. The father of the baby. When I look at someone's fob, I'm always like, hi, how are you? Or sometimes if I just get caught up in a moment and I don't say hello to the fob or whoever's in the room, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Hi, how are you? Congratulations. Like, I always try to do that, because like they kind of feel disconnected, and it's their baby too. And like you try to like bring them in. And now that I'm even experiencing it myself, I even more so want to say hello to the fob and the family, because I'm like, I don't want them to feel like left out. And honestly, it kind of makes the mom and the father feel a way about you, because they're like, damn, they're not going to acknowledge me. So yeah, and I even had one time at work a mom tell me, thank you for acknowledging me. Like, I know she's the patient and stuff, but I really appreciate you acknowledging me in the room. I was like, yeah, no problem. So people really appreciate that. So yeah, she didn't acknowledge him at first, and I was just kind of like, okay, you're not going to say hello to him. He's there, and he's just looking like, okay, what am I, a net on the wall, like, So then she was like, hi. And he's like, hi. And then she was like, have you been in a labor before? And he's like, no. And then she says to me, have you been in a labor before? And I'm like, I'm a nurse in OB. I work MFM. And she was like, oh. And I didn't even think to say, like, I actually been a birthing partner for my friend years ago, even before I became a nurse. But I completely didn't cross my mind to say that. And she was like, oh, well, MFM? And I was like, yeah. She was like, well, MFM doesn't see a lot of labors. I'm like, we do in my hospital, because I work at a trauma center. Like, definitely see a lot of shit. I was like, well, I get pulled to triage. Sometimes I work L&D. So yes, I do see births. Like, I've seen C-sections. I've seen epidural births. I've seen natural births. I've seen running down the hall on your hands and knees births. I've seen slower births. Like, I've seen births. Okay. And she was like, oh, okay. And then she had said, well, I just wanted to let you know, you're going to make a list of the chores you have to do in your house, because someone else is going to have to take care of you. And I was like, no, the first thing she said was, who's going to take care of you after you have a baby? And I looked at my husband, I'm like, him? And he kind of like put his hand up like, me? She's like, no, but like, she's like, no, but you're going to have to make a list of all your chores and all your this and all your that and delegate it to someone else. And me and my husband are kind of like, yeah, him. And she just kept going, like, and I guess not like acknowledging like, oh, or even saying, you know what, and this is what I was thinking she meant, which I could be wrong because she didn't actually say this, but I guess this is what I thought she meant. I thought she meant, well, your husband's going to be really tired with you. Well, she did say that. She did say, well, you're going to be up for like 24 plus hours, and so will you. You're going to be tired. So when she said that, that's what I thought she meant. I think that's what she said. Now, listen, I got crazy, but I don't remember half the conversations I had in the day, but I remember feeling, I remember what I felt. What I felt was, I thought she was trying to say that we're going to both be tired. So, like, he's going to be busy helping me with the baby. Who's going to do the house chores? Like, that's kind of how I took it. And my husband took it like, basically, you're trying to say men don't do these things. Like, because she kept saying, like, have somebody else do it. Have somebody else do it. And he was kind of just like, okay, like, I'm going to do it. She was like, well, she needs somebody to take care of her. And he's like, I'm going to take care of her. And she was like, because, you're not going to be doing anything. You're going to be in the bed breastfeeding. It was just like a weird, I wasn't really sure what her intention was. Like, it like, even, I guess I get it, because it's like, even that statement saying, you're not going to be doing anything. You're going to be in the bed breastfeeding. You're not going to be up doing your chores. Chores, like, who says chores? I haven't heard chores since I was in high school. So I'm kind of just like, okay, I have a man in the house, like, and he does wash dishes and he does cook. He actually cooks better than I do. He does clean. He does take out the trash. Like, you need someone to take out your trash. It was just weird. Like, he wouldn't take out my trash. Like, and at some point he got like really amped up and was like, do you have a lot of men that don't do these things? She's like, well, I don't know. Like, and she kind of like deflected or whatever. And it kind of became like a heated moment, because it was like he was really offended because he felt like she was being like manist or sexist to men. And she was kind of like not really like making it clear what she meant, and it kind of made this weird, and I kind of was looking at him like, all right, just like cool it for now. Let's just finish this. Like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, we know our household. We know how we do things. We'll handle it. We'll figure it out. We don't need to listen to the doctor. She don't know us. Like, she don't know shit about what we do in our house as far as chores are concerned. So let her say what she got to say. Let's move on. But I get that it's also important, because it's like how this person's going to be taking care of me, and what they think plays a role in like how they take care of you. So unfortunately, we had there's 7 midwives, and they told us to meet all 7 of them before I deliver. So I've already seen 3. She's the 3rd. I actually have to see her next time, which I'm just like, I kind of low-key want to call them up and be like, is there another midwife available that day I can go to? I don't feel like dealing with that again, but I'm like, you know what? It's better to nip it in the butt now, because if she ends up being my damn midwife, I'm not going to want to nip it in the butt while I'm literally screaming my head off. I'm like, bitch, you know what I'm saying? So I'd rather just say to her, like, if she does anything weird, it's like, hey, listen, I don't know, like, or just clarify, what do you mean by that? Let him just, like, But I was like, what do you mean by that? And then she'll amplify. If she doesn't really, like, if she doesn't pinpoint what she means, then I'm going to say, okay, to me it sounds like this, blah, blah, blah. Do you mean that? And she says, well, yeah. Or, well, no. We'll decipher how I move forward. If she does act like that again, I'm going to just say, look, I mean, my husband and I are a team. I don't do more than he does. He doesn't do more than I do. We literally work together to get things done. If I'm in the bed breastfeeding all day, he's going to take care of my household. He's not going, I don't do house chores. Like, we literally do things together. So I don't know if like maybe other people don't do things or something, but you can like stop implying that he doesn't do things. He does things. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. So I'm going to ask Blake also to like let me handle that a little bit, because at first I didn't really understand what was happening. I was just like, why is he getting so upset? And what does she mean by this? I'm not really confused by this conversation. This energy is kind of weird. So I kind of was like not processing it very well in the moment. But now that Blake, because afterwards he pulled me aside like, what the hell does she mean? Like, and then he told me what he felt, and I'm like, okay, like I'll keep that in mind. And if this happens again, I'll tell her like, cut this shit out, because Okay. Anyway, it made me feel that moment made me feel very worried that I might get a midwife that's not like how I am when I have patients, which is what I expect, especially the facility being a birthing center and not a hospital, which can be a little bit more like known to be more sterile. It actually made me for a second think I might go to my hospital because at least I know the people and I feel comfortable with those people. But at the same time, it's different when it's a personal situation because it's like my husband's going to be there, my mother's going to be there. I don't really know if I want to mix and match my coworkers with my personal life because I'm just telling you right now, nurses and doctors talk shit. And it's like, I don't want to mix that up. And then, like, let's say my mom says something, because my mom can be very blunt.